All right, we are looking at lesson 55 today. Advanced abstract equations. We've done problems similar to this, right? I mean, they look very similar. The only difference, we haven't had ones where there are two terms here instead of just being one. Like normally instead of having A plus B, you'll just have a letter there, not two letters. That's the only difference on these. What do you mean? Yeah, yes. Yeah. So you still want to multiply by the least common denominator for each term? That's fine. What is our common denominator? Right? Does that make sense? What are you doing? Okay. He's doing this.
I'll try to wish I have more right.
I couldn't figure out what he was doing. Okay, so this A plus B over X, what is going to cancel out from the least common denominator? The X. So what are we going to be multiplying A plus B by? Just by M. Does that make sense? What is the Y going to be multiplied by? Okay. Oh, not equals. And then what will it equal? Okay. Does that make sense? If I distribute this, what do I get? Make sense? We're solving for M. So what do I need to do now? Okay. Nope. You could have moved these two to the right if you wanted. Move these two over there. Any questions on that part? Okay. So now what do you do? Take out an M. You have A plus B minus KX equals negative XY. Make sense? What does M equal? Or would that work too? If all of the signs are changed, not just some of them, every sign has to be opposite, then it's right. So either one of these works. Doesn't matter which one you have. The order on the denominator, it doesn't matter. But all the signs either have to be like the first one or like that one. Not a mixture. Like you can't have a plus A and a minus B. That would be wrong. It's either this or that one. You can't have like this be a positive and that be a negative. That's not right. Any other questions? Are these really much different than what you've been doing? They're basically just adding one little step where you have to distribute right here. Okay? You think you can do one by yourself? Maybe? Yes. If you're still working, don't look up here until you're finished. Do you agree with that? Do I need to go over any part of that one?
Well, I got CD in my
Oh. Did I move it?
Yeah, mine is, I got
Use my number right.
Yeah. It should be CD minus that one. That's right. Does that make sense? That's why you actually want to work it out completely. Any questions there? Okay. All right. Try one more. Do you agree with that part? Solve for A. Okay, maybe I'll do this one better. Do you agree with that one?
Yeah, no. I have mine, so.
Did I have this wrong again?
I have, yeah, I got
I got negative.
I got
That's what I got.
Oh.
That's what I got.
Yeah, do you have, oh,
I have all positive and negative on the top. I have C.
you should either have what's in red or what's in black with the signs.
Yeah, I got that. I got both.
Any questions on these? It just depends on which side you move your stuff to as to whether you'll have the positives or the negatives. Any questions here? Okay. The other type of problem that we're looking at, 3 consecutive integers, that part's the same, right? We've dealt with that kind of thing. Have we ever had product of the first and the third number? That's the new part, okay? Do what? So first off, 3 consecutive integers, what would those be?
X.
X, x plus 1, x plus 2. So it says the product of the first and the third. Well, what does product mean? Multiplication. What is our first number? So the product of the first and the third is what number? Does that make sense? Is 4 more than what? 4 times the second, which is x plus 1. Does that make sense? Any questions on how to set it up? Okay, so when you distribute, what do you get on the left side? And what do you get on the right side? Any questions there? Okay, have we had ones like this where they're x squared? Not before. Okay, so how do you think we're going to want to solve this one? Factor it. So what does that mean?
You're going to get it all to one side.
Yeah.
Zero.
Yeah, equal it to 0. So x squared, and then negative 2x, and then, does that make sense? You use factoring a lot. It's the reason for working on factoring. Do what? Make sense? Any questions on that part? Okay, so sometimes what they'll say, 3 consecutive positive integers or 3 consecutive negative integers. Does that make sense? Sometimes they'll give that. Did they on this one? They just said 3 integers, right? 3 consecutive integers. So if we start with 4, what would be the 3 numbers? If we start with negative 2, what would be the numbers? Does that make sense? Oh, yeah, I don't know why I did that. Yep. I don't know what I was thinking.
You don't have to check this one.
No, you don't have to check these. Does that make sense? So, but sometimes you'll get 2 answers, but it won't want either one of them. Does that make sense? Like if it had said 3 consecutive negative integers, would these work? Why would these work? Not work. None of these are negative. I mean, they're all positive, right? Are these all negative? Okay, does that make sense? 0 is neither even nor odd. I mean, it's neither positive nor negative, but it is considered even. Does that make sense? Like it's not positive or negative, but it is even. Any questions on these? So the trick on these is just paying attention to what it's asking for and making sure that when you get your 2 answers, that they actually work with what it's asking for. Any questions on either thing that we worked on today? Yeah. Yeah, if it had said only like consecutive positive ones, then you would only put the 4, 5, and 6 because these are not positive. Does that make sense? Like you got negative 2, but since it said positive, you don't even use that one. Any questions? Okay.